I like the box.
Welcome to Curiosity Public. My name is Dutch.
My name is Joel.
Dylan.
And welcome to another episode of our Ultimate Spirits competition. Our quest to review every sipping spirit on the face of the planet is subjected to our crazy hard 100-point scoring system. And in this episode, we got a black box. We got a barrel premium product, which means it's a box that will break the bottle if you pick it up like this. That's right, it's barrel Seagrass inside.
Wow, your favorites.
A horrible box design, by the way, by Barrel. They had the 15-year in the same kind of box. It's just designed to break the bottle, which sucks.
Right.
You're not going to grab it from the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. If you pick it up like this, the bottom falls out and the bottle breaks. So great job, Barrel. All right, here's the Seagrass bottle. Let's get a quick close-up. It has the same motif as the 15-year-old Gray Label Barrel Bourbon. As you can see, this is bottle number 5,934, 16-year-old, 130.82 proof, 65.41% alcohol. This is very similar to the regular Seagrass, which is this bottle right here, in that it is finished in Martinique rum, Madeira, and apricot brandy barrels. This is part 2 of Seagrass Week. You saw a review of regular barrel Seagrass. We're going to be comparing these two in a subsequent video for our members of Curiosity Private. If you'd like to join Curiosity Private, and Patreon, you can hit the join button down below or head over to Patreon. If you don't want to, that's totally cool too. You just won't get to see that. That's all. All right, guys. Barrel Seagrass, 16-year age statement. Now, it's only Canadian rye, as opposed to the blend of other kinds of ryes that are in the regular edition. Any thoughts going into this?
How much?
How much price?
Yeah.
We got this bottle for $220.
Ooh, okay. Not a bad.
Now, but I know that the price can range up to like the $290 range, which is pretty high. I mean, that's a premium price.
A lot of the stores are like really pushing the Seagrass. Yeah. I went into one store and I was looking for some real whiskeys,
some whip shots.
Yeah, and then they were like, "Hey, you know what? This is the best thing ever because it's on the top 10 list of everybody." And I go, "Really? Oh my goodness! Can you?
You know who I am?
Yeah, you know I have a show too."
No. I was like, "Can you show me something else?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, no, I know." All kidding aside, I just said I don't like cocktails.
All kidding aside, he didn't say anything. He just walked out.
Yeah. No, he's like, "Oh, that's interesting."
Oh, that's interesting.
All right, I'm gonna get us poured.
Please.
Dylan, you got any other specs on this? I mean, it's just 16-year-old Canadian whiskey finished, right?
Yeah, so it's on the top 10 lists of other people too, and it's supposed to be. Yeah, I mean it's like it is unique in that they're trying to invoke the apricot flavor.
I like it. Good weight.
I was not the biggest fan of the regular Seagrass just because it tasted like the scratch and sniff apricot stickers that I used to have as a kid.
Apricot rings, the ring.
Yeah. So, but I'm hoping for better things. 16
years of age.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
You got to figure out the base spirit's got a lot going on for it already.
Yeah. Right.
But who knows? Let's get tasting. We'll be back in a minute. I mean, it is a very different nose.
Oh, that's nice.
This is a different beast.
Quiet.
I think. Don't you guys think?
I think so.
All right, guys, we've had some time to taste and some time to score. Jules will now give you our rundown of our scoring system.
Why are you a robot?
100 points across 10 categories. That include aroma, flavor, body, complexity, balance, finish, uniqueness, drinkability, aesthetics, and value. Flavor, we went 20 points. Aesthetics and value at 5 points each. You can medal in our competition if you score 16 above. You can go from bronze, silver, gold to diamond.
All right, guys, our initial scores. Of course, this can change. We're going to discuss it. If you saw our regular Seagrass discussion, there was a lot of discussion and things changed. But for this one, let's kick it off. I gave it, in my initial score, 74.
70,
what is wrong with you?
79.
I gave it an 80.
Oh, I see where you guys are coming from.
Yeah.
There were a lot of categories where I was like, I feel like it's higher, but I can only write down this number. So I want to talk through this.
Sure.
My score fluctuated a lot. I went back to numbers. I scratched things out and changed it. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about this. Let's kick this off with aroma. Great aroma. I give it an 8.
8.
I give it an 8.
Yeah, really
give it
good.
an
Yeah.
A lot of stuff going on here.
You get that apricot
wow.
base from
Okay.
the original
Here's the
Seagrass.
weird thing: is like overall,
Yeah.
I think this is a considerably better drink than the regular Seagrass.
Oh, I agree.
But my score is not that different, which I'm really struggling with here.
I know what you mean, only because like the base is there still.
No, this is miles above. This is the reason why I think my
agree.
scores
it's
are
miles
very, very, very
above.
consistent. Here's the thing.
No, it's very, very, very consistent.
Yeah, so here's the thing. What I love about this aroma is that unlike the scratch and sniff seagrass, regular
It's
seagrass,
natural.
Yeah, it's what it's doing is there is a utility in the apricot.
But this is what I'm wondering: is this a 9?
No. I'll tell you. There is a raw harshness of the rye that you kind of get a hint of.
Yes.
But what's nice about it is they use the apricot to block it. And so instead of getting the medicinal weirdness, you get this nice subtle apricot aroma that comes in,
Which is-
and makes the whole bouquet very, very, very pleasant.
To me, indicative of the entire experience of as this is a rye finished in apricot, as opposed to this is a rye with apricot added to it.
Yeah, it's like this is
I agree with
apricot liqueur put in, and
This is, you can tell this was a well-aged rye aged in apricot
yeah,
barrels.
this is like the White Claw, and this is like an adult drink.
That's a
whatever.
good way of putting it. Yeah.
So I'm gonna say I put a ring of apricot, keeping the aroma from going askew.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. All right, guys, let's move on to flavor. Great flavors here. I give it an 18.
I give it an 18.
Yeah, really nice.
I got a 17.
This is what I'm talking
I
about.
really enjoy the flavors
it was
here.
good.
Again, what I love about this is that the apricot again had utility. It's like you have a rye that is not perfect. It's aged, but it's not perfect. And so you take that imperfection and you support it. You create a new foundation of apricot flavor. And it's not overwhelming. What I love about it is you could mistake the apricot flavor as partly fruity, like a different like flower, almost like elderflower. You're going into the fields and you're smelling that like spring flower. You're like, is that just like flower, or is this apricot? Like you get that little I don't know. It's just kind of you get a I don't know. It's not a bait and switch, but it's kind of like
It teases you.
it teases you in a different way. And I thought that they executed that well.
Right.
I thought it was a shocker.
But I thought the spice was lacking.
I got a lot of spice.
I got a lot of
Really?
spice.
This
Not-
really tasted like a
And that's
rye.
the
I
thing.
was
That's where I
getting
got the
it-
hint.
Well, that's where I was. Yeah, I was getting on the finish, but not necessarily on the palate.
No, I knew that the base rye had its flaws because of that spice. But what's happening is that spice is about to go somewhere else, and then the apricot kind of blocks it from going there, and it's like, wow, okay, it's rounding it out. It's rounding it out. I am enjoying it.
All right, guys, let's move on to body. This is when I bounced back and forth between my numbers. I ended up at
Yeah.
a 7.
I give it an 8.
Me too. I ended up at a 7. I was bouncing back between 8 and 7.
I gave it an 8.
I understand. I
I
wrote
get
down
the
an 8
8,
initially, but like, why? What am I missing here? I mean,
So,
like,
for me, it's like I wasn't necessarily getting like that even coating every time, and that's where it was kind of weak. It was just exactly
my problem. Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
Sometimes I got
'Cause sometimes
that,
I get it,
and then sometimes it was perfect.
I get it, or I got a cut. Yeah, no, exactly. So
I am shocked.
I'm the same.
I'm shocked that I'm getting the rye sweetness and the apricot sweetness, and it's blending together.
agree.
I'm like shocked that that's happening, and I can feel that.
That's the hap.
that's
And
the
that-
haps.
I felt like it's the body.
Okay, complexity.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I was thinking more the way it hits my palate was if it was a little bit more even. I understand the 8. I had a little bit of that. What you're getting, that harsh. What I
gonna
cough when I
cut.
drink it.
Yeah, I
Like,
was gonna
sometimes
cut
that
it.
happens. Okay, guys. Complexity 8.
8.
I gave it a 7. I gave it a 7.
With everything you just
I
described?
mean, it's
Yeah, so apricot, what I wanted with apricot, I think, was there, and they proportioned it well. But the problem is the other component, which is the rye. And I wish the rye itself had the complexity, the breadth that you see in some of these like pure rye releases, right? I want that flavor kind of spectrum, and I was missing that. But it's good, and I would say it doesn't skew like the original release.
Yeah, I mean,
I give it an 8.
I give it an 8. I think it's there's a lot of different flavors going on here. I got the core rye flavors much better than the
Oh yeah, no, that's finally. I'm glad that they didn't bury it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're highlighting it. I think the craftsmanship's there, and that's what I'm excited about. I was drinking and I said, "Oh, this is exciting. This is exciting to drink."
Agreed. All right, moving on to balance. This is one where I feel like I could actually go even higher, but I give it an 8.
Yeah, I'm the same. Originally, actually even wrote a 9, but then stuck with an 8.
Yeah, I gave it an 8. But I agree with you because you know why? I want to give it extra points because I could see how difficult it was to release the regular Seagrass and how off-putting that was, at least for me. This one required an extra level execution, and I go, shouldn't I tip them for that? Because
that's exactly how I feel, which is like it's a whole thing of like this tastes natural, this tastes unnatural.
All right, I'll go up to 9.
I'll go up to
2.
Look at that, we all still.
I gotta
Convinced.
hats off to Barrel, man. This is
It's exquisite.
I'm impressed. I'm shocked. I'm the most shocked because if you look at my previous review.
Yeah, very. I am too. All right, guys, let's move on to the finish. One of the weaker categories for me, but I want to talk about it. I give it a 6.
Really? I give it a 9.
I gave it a 7.
I enjoyed this finish.
I wrote it out.
Too short.
I mean, it is mostly it's not medium. It is shorter. But then I was getting a lot of the spice. I was getting a nice sweet finish too.
The flavors I'm left with are fine, but they just fade so quickly. I wish if it was a little bit stronger, I would have been higher.
It is. Okay, it's definitely not medium length.
So whereas I felt like the majority of the balance in the flavor great. In the finish, what happened was the rye and the sweetness started to separate, and then the balance started to go off. That's why I couldn't give it a 10.
I didn't get that.
And what you're getting is the apricot.
Yeah.
And then you get sometimes the rye spice, and then sometimes you get a lot more sweetness. And it just keeps separating out for me.
I had a different experience completely. I thought the balance was very symmetrical. Like here are the flavors, and they just went like this. They just went like this way too quickly.
Fast, yeah.
Like I got pretty equal parts apricot and rye. I thought they were well positioned. Like the reason I gave it a 9 for balance, it just went way too fast. What I'm left with, if I really search for it, isn't bad. It's just so subtle.
It's quick.
It's too subtle for me.
No. Like it's apricot.
No, I can still get the rice spice. I still taste the rice spice on my palate. Yeah. That's why I'm not. I
just feel like the finish is for a 16-year-old.
It should be better.
It should be way better.
That's exactly.
It should be way better. Yeah.
All right, guys. Moving on to uniqueness. This is an 8.
I give it a 9.
I gave it a 9.
Okay, so what am I missing out on here?
Age stated.
Apricot, which doesn't overwhelm.
Not.
It accentuates the rye, the aged rye.
In its components,
It doesn't taste like, apricot liqueur.
For the same reasons I would give Angel's Envy Rye a 9.
Right.
I should give this 2.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Right. I don't feel like I'm in Las Vegas Strip drinking like the tube of apricot, slushy.
Oh, I love the Strip.
Yes.
All right, guys. Drinkability, quite drinkable. I give it an 8.
I give it an 8.
I give it a 9. This is really.
But so I'm starting to question now with Jules' score. I'm like, why? I mean, like everything that I gave the regular Seagrass like a 6, I think, because I thought it was way too sweet. I don't get any of that on this. I could keep drinking it, but
both though.
At the same time, I'm like, why is that flavor there? Like I keep questioning the apricot. Like I'm like, it's still a little bit off-putting for me personally, and I'm like, it's not bad.
That's off-putting?
No, but like
when you just said too, like this is crafted better, less synthetically.
My question here is, I've got this, and I've got like another, like the Willet rye.
Yeah.
What am I going to reach for to just sip on in an evening? I don't know that I would reach for this.
Yeah, but I think for me it's the same reason for another category. It's in the value section. That's why I wouldn't reach for it.
Yeah, I understand that, but I don't know.
From a flavor point of view,
I give it an 8. I think it's good. I think it's really good. I would be happy sipping on this, but it's not perfect.
I could sip on this all night.
Yeah, the way I visualize this is like, if I think about like the best aged rye I've had, there is little like bits and pieces of peach and apricot. Like we talk about stone fruit. I talk about stone fruit, and the apricot is right there, right?
Yeah.
So I can get that from a naturally aged product with no finish in other types of brandies. This one, I feel like what they did was they had a rye that maybe couldn't have stood on its own because there were some harsh edges. The apricot just rounded it out a little bit. And then the melding of flavors between the kind of stone fruit you would get from an aged rye melded really nicely with the brandy apricot. The criticism I had with the regular release was that it was jarring. It was jarring, and it was so disparate in its flavor that it came off as something that came out of a chemistry lab. And so
like jet fuel that you really love, though.
Well, jet fuel is a different story, but and because of that, Jules, I do agree with you. I think I would go back to this because it's like if I want a dessert.
That's why I am kind of tempted to go to another.
I would reach for this. It's like I want cinnamon. Do I want Angel's Envy, or do I want to go for this?
I would say like a really refined, finished rye. I mean, what else is there?
I mean, there are
like the High West stuff. No,
and age stated.
The Angel's Envy, great, but this is something at a little bit of a different wavelength.
I mean, you're talking about like let's talk about things like Midwinter Night Dram. Right?
I kind of prefer this.
Yeah,
personally, I really do. I think it's punchier. It's more rye forward.
Yeah, but again,
I think the finish works better.
You would be willing to reach for that. You would be willing to reach for this. I mean, these are all things that you would reach for, right? Because depending on your mood, and I feel like that's where the drinkability is. It doesn't mean that this is exclusive.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to aesthetics. 3.
I give it a 4.
I give it a 4 as well. I'm tempted to go 3 just because thinking about the box issue.
The box really pisses me off.
Because I know.
I like the gray. I like everything.
And I really like the gray. And I like how the classy symbol on the Seagrass. And then the logo of the Burrell, It's nice. It's like embossed in there.
You're right.
Just a sticker.
The cap is really nice. Did you feel this?
Yeah, it's cool.
Like that actually, like it feels like that feels like a superconductor.
No, I mean,
I could be like, you put it down and it would like float.
Yeah, I mean, this is a.
Yeah, I mean, they put some extra effort in
this is a premium release. Yeah,
I'll go up to a 4. I'll go up to a 4. You guys are right. It is pretty nice.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Our final category, arguably a category that matters more than any of the other ones for a lot of people. Value 0.
Yeah, I started on this one. I gave it a 0 originally, but then I decided to give it a 1.
I'm starting to think about a 1.
I gave it a 3.
Oh,
I'm starting to think to go up. Like, why should I? Okay, $230.
I know.
This is a lot of money.
$230 is a lot.
For sure.
Why should I go up from a 0? Convince me.
For sure.
Convince me.
For sure.
Plead your case.
Tell me another apricot well-aged rye.
There isn't an apricot one. You're right. So it should be at least a 1. We'll give you a 1 point, but you're at a 3, and I'm willing to come to a 1.
3.
How do I get to a 2?
Now, this is what I'm talking about when we're talking about an academic exercise for me. Like, it's like, okay, there's nothing in the world where right now, at least in 2022 or when this comes out, 2025 or whatever. Like, as of now, as I'm talking about this, there's nothing in this world that can replace this. So if I drop this bottle,
I'm gonna go to a 2. By the way,
if I drop this bottle, I'm gonna be kind be upset because I'm gonna be like, dang, I don't have anything on my shelf.
Let me simplify it even more for the layman. Would you put this on your shelf?
Yes.
For how much? For $230?
For $230. For $230.
That's why it's only a 2.
No, but it's a 16. But it's a 16 year.
3, you're saying yes.
I understand 2.
Okay, I'll go down.
I think a 2 is appropriate.
Yeah, you're right.
I think a 2 is appropriate.
Yeah, it's a little. It looks a little too high.
We're all at 2.
Yeah,
No, I'm talking about like 16-year rye.
And I get your argument. I'm just saying, like, would you?
You're talking about 65.41%.
It's
16 year.
Though. It's expensive.
Yeah, no, I get it. I think
2 is appropriate.
I don't think I would
3
pay
is
more
basically
than,
you are buying this tonight, tomorrow, whatever, and you're putting it on your shelf.
It is truly unique.
It is. It really is. And,
I mean, like, if you drop this,
I had this whole issue the entire time tasting this because I was like, I feel like this is leaps and bounds better than this, but as I'm scoring it, I'm like,
yeah, it's only an incremental.
But you know what
bump,
it is? Like,
right?
this is an exercise in synthetic versus natural. This tastes natural. This tastes synthetic. They both achieve this point of rye plus apricot. But this one does it in a way that feels so much better.
I wasn't really getting. I couldn't really describe this as synthetic. For me, it's just more like this is rushed.
This is space ice cream, and this is like real churned ice cream. Like there's something.
But that's
different.
what I mean. So rushed, versus.
But at the same time, I understand why people like this. Like I'm trying to appreciate that at the same time, but thinking that like, am I just like an old fogey where I'm like, oh, but in our day we made our whiskey the real way.
I am an old fogey. I am an old fogey.
That's like I'm trying to.
I am not trying to relate. I'm gonna be old. I am gold. I'm not one of those people where they
gold.
say.
That's what I heard that.
I'm dressed in gold. I love gold.
No. I'm not one of those people where like I'm 50 years old and trying to act 30. No.
That's me.
I'm gonna be 50 years old. I'm going to age gracefully. No, I don't want synthetic stuff. I don't want to drink margarita slushy. Okay,
I love margaritas.
I'm not going to do those things. And I feel like you guys are trying to justify your weird scores with the other one.
No, it's a build up to this.
I think you're digging a hole.
What I'm trying to do, dude, is understand what the younger generation gets. Like I feel like there's something here that resonates with people, and I really wanted to understand, and I think I kind of understand it.
I think I do.
But I think after tasting this, you can't go back to this.
You know what that sounds like?
Well, you can, in that I don't want to spend $230.
I don't, but at the same time, spending $80 on this, it doesn't taste anything like this.
Okay, you know what? This is getting.
I mean, this I won't buy. This I'll buy.
This is getting really. Look, this is getting really creepy. You're sounding like those like old people going into clubs where a bunch of 20 people,
still
20
go
year
into
olds,
clubs?
where there's all these like 20-year-olds like hanging out, and you're like the 50-year-old coming in and being all creepy.
Hello. I'm Frank. Remember? Go for it. Go for it.
Like no. Stay in your lane, man. I'm going to.
Dylan went there, man.
Don't be weird.
That's
weird. You're telling us not to be weird.
That's weird, man.
All right, guys, we gotta close this episode off. Let's get our final tally.
That's just gonna dye his hair, and that's gonna be all like a streak
purple.
right here. No, it's gonna be a streak right here.
It's gray, man. It's ridiculous. All right, my final.
I'm aging old. I'm just aging.
Yeah, you're not going gray like me though. That's what
I
sucks.
got gray hair.
All right, so my final tally, guys. My final score 79.
81.
Wait, what? Okay, that's good. 80. Yeah, we finally. Oh, that's good.
Gives us our official Curiosity public score for.
Did it make it?
Barrel Seagrass 16-year-old. It is gold. 80.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It hit the mark. Just made it. Fantastic. Well done, Barrel. This was a really nice expression, I gotta say.
Whoa, you're getting a clap from Dylan.
When I tasted it, I was like, this is something here.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out why, but
can you tell the members that I did not try this before?
Yeah, he didn't.
Whole thing,
He didn't.
And so
that's not our members. That's everybody.
Yeah.
But now for our members, we're going to be doing a head-to-head between these two. So stick around for that. Everybody else,
do that.
Jules is taking us out of this episode. Jules,
so what you think in the comments below? Give us a thumbs up or thumbs down. Let us know either way how you feel about this episode. Subscribe for more videos, Curiosity Public. If you want to be the nice person who wants to help our channel out, please consider joining Curiosity Private, which is our membership program here on YouTube. We are also on Patreon, and you can buy t-shirts. I'm not sure if you can get that one yet. Can you get that one yet?
you can't get that one
But
yet.
you can't, whatever. But anyway, hopefully these will get up there by the time this is released. That's another great way to help us out. Check out our podcast on all major podcast platforms out there. As always, stay safe, stay healthy.
Stay curious. Did you like how I did that with a flourish?
Yeah, I did.
So there's a real question. Do you think the battery's going to die before we film the head-to-head?
Yes.
No.
No, I think we should do it.
I think we're gonna.
Let's do it. Let's knock it out, man. Let's knock it out.